So the what if question for me is, what if we were born into a world where we lived in a world where there was no franchises and everyone had the freedom to create their own business, their own home. And by that I mean I've always dreamed of a world where everything is unique to its own identity. So like let's say you had a business, it's ran by your own family. And I come from descent of Japanese American, and let's say I wanted to do a spin of my own type of Japanese American type of food eatery, it would come through my family. But the other thing I always thought was, why can't we create our own businesses with themes revolved around it? So like I have like a really cool Japanese theme restaurant. But besides just a Japanese themed restaurant, it goes deeper into that. Like, why can't you bring like actual like animals, or like why can't you have like a water slide inside your cafe? I just think that we confine ourselves into a structure where we have to follow the rules. We have to like have walls painted a certain way, or designs formatted a certain way. I remember growing up and seeing that a Simpsons home, and they auctioned it off, and I'm like, why can't you just create a home of your dream as well? Like if you had $1 million to just blow away, why couldn't you create like a theme park type of vibe in your own home or in your own restaurant, and make it more fun, more energized, and bring a happier feeling? So if we lived in what if we lived in a world with no restrictions, as far as there's no franchises and you're free to do whatever you'd like as far as your home and your business and your trade. So what I'll do is I'll pass the mic to Coach and kind of let him express his own opinion on what if we lived in a world without franchises, without restrictions.
Well, I'm thoroughly honored to start this off for everybody here.
Like, I wish it
because, yeah, I'm like that kid in the back of the class that like starts pretending to write shit down because they don't want to get called on when they're like, no, who knows this? And they're like, I don't know the fucking answer. Yeah, they're like, I don't know the fucking answer. So then all of a sudden you're like, well, if you make eye contact with the teacher, like they're gonna call on you. But then it turned into like the teacher just finds out who's trying to make the least amount of eye contact. I'd be like, that's the fuck. They're like, that's the kid I'm picking on. Like, that's the kid that's gonna get embarrassed because they don't know what's the capital of whatever state I'm asking about.
We stalled the whole time.
Yeah. So now that's over. Let's go to Nightmare after I just like a 15-minute filler.
Filibuster.
I think. Yeah. What if Coach didn't fall asleep on the couch here? Coach needs a nap.
It's like the Mr. Bean and Rat Race.
Yeah.
He just like passes out.
Just fall asleep. Key in the locker. I think that's like I think it's a pretty interesting like topic, because you think about like franchises that I think that like we like us as a group, but then like people in general like we frequent and that we actually really like, or we're really, really big fans of. I mean, I know for me, like coming back to California over break and stuff, like the first thing that I did was my parents and we went and got In-N-Out for dinner. So it's like In-N-Out is almost exclusively West Coast, like California. They've got a couple in Texas, I think, now, but it's like that is a huge franchise. It's a family-owned franchise, and they've kind of held on to like a certain standard of that they really haven't like moved away from. Like, they kind of went and they've kept the same standard that like the 50s and 60s had, in terms of like food service, food prep, respect, and like the way they handle customers. Chick-fil-A is not obviously from the 50s, but like the way they say my pleasure for everything, like they have their own certain standard for stuff. So I think there's some that are franchises like that have made their own thing, which is interesting to think about. But
right? Like,
yeah, closed on Sundays. So it's like, even if you work full time, even if you work, over 40 hours, whatever, you're never working on a Sunday.
Football.
Yeah, you're always there watching.
You never want Chick-fil-A more.
Oh no! You wake up on Sunday, you're like, where do I want?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and then you drive by and you're like, shit, they are closed. Yeah, but I mean, there's been like, I think there's at least been 2 or 3 times where I've driven to a Chick-fil-A and be like, wow, there's no line. And then I almost get to the drive-thru and I'm like, because it's a freaking Sunday, and I just like turn that wheel. I'm like, I'm just doing.
They have a camera of you, like it's like this stupid idiot.
A compilation of
Sundays.
Just waiting at the board.
The joy that dies in their face. They're just like, They're like they're like still trying to talk to the intercom.
I wonder who's got the record for longest time waiting at the drive-through like microphone,
Like,
like trying to order.
Like he's just stoned out of his mind, just like.
They probably have it turned on to where they record like whatever you say. So
Yeah.
someone's just like, "Is anyone there?"
Yeah.
Just keep yelling it louder and louder at them.
Where's that nice guy outside?
How
Yeah.
long until they take the Lord's name in vain?
Right.
God damn it! It's Sunday.
But I do like that concept. I think that if there were like franchises and we had like this very specific, like obviously I'm not. This might be hard to believe, but I'm not Japanese American at all. I know it's
Brother?
Here, let's
Yeah.
get close up. Yeah.
but just to confirm. But like for my stuff, like I have a very strong like Germanic and French heritage, and I also have like strong Norwegian ties as my what's that? What's that?
You just have croissants.
Oh yeah, croissant.
Croissant.
Yeah, croissants and foie gras.
Yeah.
That's what I have on the daily.
Latte.
But-
Latte.
It's like for like to do some of that stuff. Like I think it would be really interesting how everyone has like their own spin, and I do like actually seeing like places that do their own spin off of like their own heritage and culture, because why should everything be the same? Like why, like I know that everyone's got a culture and a heritage and like some celebrations or like rituals or whatever it has for everybody. But it's like, why does mine and yours and his and hers have to all be the exact same because we come from the same background? Like, why can't we make something different? And I think that if we could do that, I do like the aspect of like how expanded creativity could get for people,
That's what I love
because
about
they don't have to
music,
work
right?
within a certain like
Yeah.
bracket of things. Like you get outside that box, and the more you let people get outside that box and still let them, I guess, like be in the box, or like you get to put them in the box even though they're outside the box type of deal, if that makes sense. Like I think you get a lot more variety, and you don't get complacent as much because you're now working within somebody else's construct of what they see their culture or their heritage as, or even like whatever they want to do. Like even like the white dudes that do like sushi, and they're like, oh, I trained in like Japan for a decade.
Yeah.
And like you come in, you're like, holy crap, like this dude is like the whitest dude I've ever seen that's like a head sushi chef. But it's like they do their own like spin on stuff, and I think that's unique and that's awesome.
Yeah, fusion's
because
the best,
yeah,
right?
fusion
Yeah.
stuff is great. I mean,
Yeah, they don't live under the constructs, and you're just like, damn, who would have thought
No.
of fusing these two things? You know,
Yeah.
like sometimes you find, like there's a Peruvian and a Thai place that we went to one time.
yeah.
I was like, what the F? Like, you know, like.
I mean, like I don't need like
That's
fusion stuff. Like I don't need like American and sushi. Like I don't need a sushi.
Damn, that sounds good.
Sushi hamburger or hamburger sushi. Like I don't need firecrackers on top of like a prawn head like on my dish or anything like that. I'm pretty easy.
There's
Yeah.
an episode of Kitchen Nightmares where
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay goes to a sushi place and
Yeah.
orders sushi pizza, and he says
Oh.
the most disgusting thing he's ever
Yeah, no thank you.
That sounds good.
I mean, hell, someone's probably whoever
Camera now.
our viewers are probably going to steal this, but you know, like I don't need stuff like that, but I do like the individuality, because like I don't want to go to 8 different sushi places and have the same Hawaiian roll or the same firecracker roll at
Or
8
crunchy roll.
Yeah, I don't want I mean, I also don't want to order something and get like crap, like because it's totally different, but I don't want it to be the exact same either. Like, you know, I go to different burger places or pizza places because the pizza or the burgers are different. Like there's a difference between McDonald's and In-N-Out. There's a difference between In-N-Out and Whataburger. So sorry for any Central people, but In-N-Out is way better than Whataburger. It doesn't even register on my radar. I've had it once. I was like, you know what? It's not that great. I mean, it's like nothing to write home about for me.
What's it like? I've never had
I mean, it tasted fine. It was great. I mean, I wouldn't say great. Sorry, I don't want to say great. Giving it to a props.
When you were done?
No, what? Yeah, well, I was like,
Was it sarcastic?
I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, shit. I was like, what did I just spend money on?
Oh,
but
bitch.
it's just like, I mean, like people are like, oh my god, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, it was a burger.
Isn't that a crazy saying? That's a crazy saying. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
sliced
how did
bread.
you know? Yeah.
Because like, how amazed were they when they fucking sliced bread? It's like,
It's pretty amazing.
did like everyone's life just change? They're like, well, shit, we don't have to rip it anymore.
We
But
don't have to cut it ourselves.
yeah, I think it's an interesting aspect, and I actually like that idea because I think that's when you breed creativity is when
Yeah,
you
that's
let
interesting.
people don't have to like work out. But I want to hear more about like what Nightmare hears, because I'm all out of bad jokes.
I
So
like a nightmare.